What's up? It's Joy Kane, and I'm coming at you hella naked faced, bright and early in the morning. It's like 7:45, and I was watching the rerun of the Atlanta Housewives, the third installment of the reunion. And I was just thinking, looking at Kenya while Kenya talking, I'm just like, and just the fact that, I mean, because of course I've already seen it, but the fact that at the end, Nene says something about, she thinks that, there should be a new cast member added, and, somebody should be replaced or something along the lines of that. And I'm thinking, it would be a really it would be a big mistake if they let Kenya go, which I don't even see her talking about Kenya, or in that situation, because her and Kenya cool. So, if you cool with Nene, then you good on the show. But Kenya Moore brings that level of ratchetness without being to the extreme, like Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, or New York, or like Basketball Wives. They don't have to get down on the Atlanta Housewives, fighting and all that crazy shit. Physically fighting and all that crazy shit. But Kenya brings that wildness, that craziness to the show without taking it to that crazy, to that other ratchet level. You know what I'm saying? So I really like Kenya Moore, and I've always liked Kenya Moore. Even before I found out she was on the show, I always liked her. And then so that's another thing that kills me, is because they keep on talking about Nene like Nene is this grandstand actress. Now I know she's never won any type of, she hasn't won a BET award, an MTV award, anything like that. But Kenya is, and she has been in the game for a very long time. I mean, if y'all just look at Martin, she was on the Martin show. I mean, yeah, she was a date. She was a extra character. She had some lines though. But I mean, Kenya has been around for a long time. In the entertainment industry. So I just think that they keep on playing her down on that. They ain't giving her all her props and everything. But I look forward to next season of Atlanta Housewives, and I think that if they're going to get rid of anybody, I think they need to get rid of Porscha, because I mean, Porscha, she just doesn't do it for me. I mean, like, if her and Cordell don't get back together, what's going to be her storyline? Like, her picking up and getting her career together? Or, I mean, I doubt that. I mean, I'm sure she's going to be, if she's on the next season, she's going to be trying to find her another man. She's not going to be focusing on her career. That's not the type of chick Porscha is at this point. I mean, yeah, now she wants to have her career and a baby, but she want a baby and a career, so she want to be involved with somebody. She want to have a career. She don't want to just have it on her own and do what all whatever it is. Porscha, I don't think Porscha, she's a good fit for this cast. The last thing I want to point out about the Atlanta Housewives that I just admire, and I think this is why they are the best Real Housewives cast. I like them because all of these women, with the exception of Porscha, had their own, even Nene, really, Nene, she married Greg, and Greg, I was hearing, was the breadwinner in their relationship. But, Candy, Cynthia, Phaedra, Kenya, they had their own. They made their own money. They had careers long before the Real Housewives of of Atlanta. And I just admire that, because I also like watching the Beverly Hills Housewives. I love, how I forget my favorite person name, Lisa. I love Lisa. I love Kyle. And I liked Adrian, but I mean, she just seemed a little crazy in the last season. I mean, and that's her last season anyways, but definitely Lisa and Kyle are my favorite. But with them, they were born with money, or they married into a huge amount of money. So, you know, even if they do have businesses now, they didn't have to like bust their ass for it. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of handed to them in a sense because, you know, they have all these connections and, you know, all they have to do is say a word and more than likely that word going to be passed and they're going to get what they wanted. But on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know, they went through the grind, they went through the struggle, and you know that they where they at now because they busted their ass and they did hella work to get it. And that's what I admire about the Atlanta Housewives, and that's why they are my favorite because I know that these brown skinned girls have did they damn thing to get where they at today. And I mean it really should be called, you know, the head of the household. Atlanta instead of the the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They should be the head of households of Atlanta or the head of households. But with all that being said, I just had to get that off my chest because it was just a thought on my mind, and I know I would have just it would have drove me crazy thinking about it today. But I can't wait to see the edited out clips. They're going to show those, all the extras, and then I can't wait to see Married with Medicine with Miss Quad and Miss Mariah and terrible tacky Toya. So I can't wait to see that. But with all of that being said, also my contest, nobody won the contest. Nobody entered. So there were no winners. So what am I going to do with the hair? I have ideas for the hair, but I don't know if I should just reopen the contest. I don't know, but it's going to be some added stipulations. But basically, the answers to those questions were, the first one was, how many times did I say Harlem 125? And out of that whole video, I only said it 6 times. I basically said and more than any word that I said in that whole video. And it was horrible. I was zoning out on that video. So, I mean, it was a true challenge to even go through that. But it was my first video, and I feel like I'm progressing. And I still say hella, so I probably need to work on that. But the second question was, where did I buy the hair at? I named the place. I named the city and the state. I would have took Parker Beauty in Florissant, Missouri, or St. Louis, Missouri. Either one, because I said both St. Louis and Florissant. And Florissant is pretty much in St. Louis. So then the third one was, what type of curling iron did I use to curl the hair, to style the hair. And I asked for the description and not a brand name. It wasn't necessarily a brand name, and I stated this probably like at the 5-minute mark. Like it was 1.5 inch barrel iron. So nobody got those. So I don't know if I'm going to reopen the contest or save the hair for later or do the hair, because at this point I redid my hair. I had like a really small bun at the top. I had the flat twist going to the really small bun, but now I got a little zigzag mohawk thing going on. So I'm going to wear this for the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to make sure I tie it down so it can be fresh or stay as fresh as possible, because I didn't tie my hair down none this last week while I had my little bun, and so it got really rough. Usually it looks really smooth, but outside of all of that, y'all, I'm out. Peace.